You're watching Novi Pulse, the show that lets you, the viewer, get an inside look at the trends and the people who run today's local and global businesses in the community of Novi. I'm Greg Chapman, and together we'll see what it takes to be a leader in Novi. The vision of the new Novi St. John Providence Park Hospital is to create a community cornerstone that delivers the latest thinking in patient care and diagnostic treatment. Most of Novi's residents have driven past the campus and noticed the construction of the new hospital. I'm sure you've also noticed the campus itself, which is rich in natural beauty, and the plan is to keep it that way. The campus will preserve existing green space, wetlands, foliage, and wildlife habitat. You'll also be able to roam through the gardens, or you can walk or run the fitness path that will encircle the campus. What Novi's residents may not know is that there's more than just a surgical center and a medical office building. There are plans for an adult community education services facility and a fitness and wellness center, which Rob Casalou, CEO of St. John Providence Hospital, will tell us more about in a moment. Rob and St. John Providence have been active in the Novi community from many fronts and enjoy the real support from the people who care about their community. Rob, it's great to have you here today.
Well, it's nice to be here, Greg. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, Rob, can you tell us a little bit about St. John Providence Hospital?
Well, glad to. St. John Providence Hospital, we've actually been on that site since about 1992 with the existing facility, which is essentially a hospital without beds. We have surgical center there now. We have an ER that's very active. We do rehabilitation, laboratory services, everything there. Now we have a small inpatient unit once we got our certificate of need license about a year ago. And obviously, as you just mentioned, we have the construction underway. And we're also part of St. John Health System, which is the largest regional health system in Southeast Michigan.
Okay.
And we're kind of the western flank, as we say, of St. John Health.
Okay, that's great. So, you've been there for a while. You've had the opportunity to move from being, in the organization to the CEO. How did you get into this line of work?
Well, I started at Providence Hospital in Southfield back in 1989. I was actually a student intern. That's how I arrived there. It was almost by accident. I was in my program in Ann Arbor, and I was able to arrive as a summer intern. And I never left. The then CEO, Brian Connolly, hired me, and then over a course of 16 years, I had a wonderful career there. I had come previously from the auto industry, so I was making a career transition at the time, and an industry transition. It sure was. Had a lot of success. We went through a major merger with St. John Health back in '99, and that's when I started as CEO of Southfield. And I moved full-time out here to the Novi campus just this past November to now launch the new hospital.
Oh, wow, that's incredible. As you were making that change, going from the manufacturing industry to where you are today, was there any defining experience that kind of shaped, your career path?
Well, I had wanted to be in healthcare from as long as I have a memory. I wanted to be a doctor, and I wanted to I had many dreams to get into healthcare. But when I was in college, when you're getting A's and B's in your business classes and getting C's in chemistry, God's trying to tell you you're going to get to healthcare a different way.
Yeah, exactly.
I ended up going into the manufacturing side. We were on the supply side of automotive, and I did that. And it was a wonderful career. Learned a lot in the auto industry, but I never lost the desire to get into healthcare. So I went back for my graduate work and ended up in a program for a master's in health administration and a master's in business. And through the experience really at Providence and the summer, 2 summers actually I spent there, I realized a hospital environment's where I wanted to be. So I cut the string, kind of took a step back, took a big breath, and then jumped into healthcare.
Jumped into healthcare. That's fabulous. And this opportunity for you to be a part of the new St. John Providence campus, the new hospital in Novi, has got to be just a tremendous experience for you.
Well, folks who have my kind of a job, it's a very rare opportunity. Maybe less than 5% of the hospital CEOs in the entire country get to build a hospital from scratch. And in Michigan, it's even more rare. This is the first greenfield hospital built in the state of Michigan in 20 years. So it's really an opportunity on many fronts, and it's a privilege that St. John Health has given me a chance to lead the effort.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. Now, in building this new hospital, how will the new hospital, all the ancillary type facilities that we've been talking about, how will that impact Novi?
Well, a lot of people don't think about a hospital until they need it. It's not exactly, the product that people want to buy. They actually, it's a product that people need. And they think about it largely when they're in distress, although we have a large OB program here and be delivering a lot of babies in this hospital. But first of all, we looked at it. First priority is to build a state-of-the-art, high-tech center that's one of the world's safest hospitals, because a lot of people fear going into hospitals, not only because they're ill, but because hospitals have been known to make errors and mistakes can get made. So we built the facility and designed it around safety, and then we also brought in the amenities, the things that people are looking for, privacy, so we have all private rooms. A very large and spacious place for family to stay in the rooms, state-of-the-art operating rooms, very large and effective and fast emergency room, a trauma center to service this community. There is no level 1 trauma center in our immediate neighborhood here.
Oh, really?
So that will provide emergency access, but also provide a beautiful place that when you have to be there, it's a place that you're going to want to be.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like a world-class facility, like you said.
Yeah.
What trends are you seeing in healthcare today? I mean, we've seen, going from a standard hospital to now having bigger rooms where families can come in and be more a part of the healing process. What other types of trends are you seeing in the industry today?
Well, although we're talking today about, excuse me, the new hospital, that's not what people want. The trend is health and wellness, prevention, staying out of this beautiful hospital. That's the whole goal. So we felt as a health provider, if our only focus was to build the best acute care hospital where you're really sick to be there, we'd be missing what the community really wants. What they want is access, easy access to doctors, their doctors. So our doctors are going to be moving out of the existing facility we have into their own buildings on our campus, connected to the hospital by a bridge. About 300,000 square feet of medical office, an outpatient surgery center is all going to be located on the western side of the campus. Most people, when they're going to come in, they're seeing their doctor for a routine visit, a physical, a lab test. So they'll come in, they'll come out, and they'll never even see the hospital. We're going to have other facilities on there to support health and wellness. We want to bring a yoga studio on site. You mentioned some fitness and wellness. A partnership, hopefully, with the City of Novi Schools to build a community education center, a child development center, the walking trails, the loop road. You can run your bike or take a walk around a 1.7 loop road, 7-mile loop road. So all of that activity, our goal is that for every one visit, for every one patient in the hospital, there's 5 or 6 visits on the campus for health and wellness. And that's the major trend we see.
Absolutely. So really being involved not only in the medical treatment, but also making sure that those people are taken care of and understand how to take care of themselves.
That's correct. And we have some other trends that are kind of a problem in our society and in our own community in Novi. Trends around the lack of people exercising, obesity rates going through the ceiling. I mean, it's the health of our community is a concern. A recent publication just came out of a research study on the East Coast showing that the 5 to 15-year-old generation now has a lower life expectancy than you and I.
Really?
It's shocking.
That's very shocking.
But it's because it's a sedentary population. The kids are sitting in front of the tube. They're sitting in front of the computer. They're not eating well. And so we're working with our City of Novi schools. We want to have healthier diets. We want to promote physical education. We got to get kids out of the house and into the yard. And also we can play a part by providing education, information. And that's what we really have to focus on here if we want to have a healthy community.
Exactly. And that's very well said. And I think people have to take into consideration those items. I mean, as a father of, small children, I mean, that's something that, I'm definitely concerned about and wasn't aware of. So that's...
Yes, well, I became aware of it myself. I have young kids as well, and I'm just disappointed as I see kids who are not, don't have healthy lifestyles now. Imagine what it's going to be like for them. I say we're growing a future generation of diabetics if we don't take care of it now. So the hospital is kind of the cornerstone, the centerpiece of that campus, but it's 200 beautiful acres. It's got a lot to offer the community, and it's really got to be around a health theme.
When we come back, we're going to get a personal perspective on Rob.
Last month, I adjusted my thermostat a few degrees a day to lower my energy bill. Experts say that helps reduce air pollution. I say, cha-ching. Morning, Carl.
Morning. Environmental defense. Get green. For more tips, go to getgreen.com.
Hi, I'm Greg Chapman, and you're watching Novi Pulse. We're going to continue our conversation with Rob Casalou, CEO of Providence Hospital. Rob, can you tell us a little bit about your family?
Glad to. I don't get to do that very often. My wife, Kristen, and I, and our two children, John and Emily, live here in Novi.
Great.
We're in the Island Lake subdivision. We've been there about 4.5 years and love it here in Novi. And then I have a daughter, 13 years old, from a previous marriage that lives over in Greenville, Michigan, which is on the west side of Michigan.
Okay.
And she spends a lot of time with us. We get to see her a lot.
Good, good.
And so that's our family.
That's terrific. And they go to the Novi school system and involved in the community just like you.
Yeah, well, yeah, John, our son John's turning 5, and he's starting at kindergarten this year over at Deerfield. And
Great.
He's very excited, and Mom's getting nervous about putting him on the bus here in a couple weeks.
Oh, yeah. You have the cameras out, get ready to take all the pictures.
She already told me I had to take the day off. So.
Very good, very good.
And then Emily's 4, and she will be in preschool this year.
Well, that's terrific. Being involved with your business, the CEO, building a new hospital, and being involved in the community as well, how do you find the time to balance, your work life and your business life?
Well, you have to protect your time. It is hard. And one of the things about this kind of a job is you do make a commitment to some pretty long days.
Oh, yeah.
Fortunately, my wife is also committed to it. She loves the social part of this job. When we do have to go to events and fundraisers and all kinds of activities, she's a great partner in that. And then staying on my own exercise and wellness plan. That's also equally important. So I commit my mornings to that, early mornings. And try to take care of myself as well. So you just try to find the hours in the day.
Yep, absolutely. Taking a look back on the business side of things, what type of obstacles have you had to overcome that you would see as pretty big obstacles in trying to achieve the goal of building a new hospital in Novi?
Well, we had a lot of obstacles getting to the point of building this hospital. In fact, the first application for the Providence Park Hospital was made in 1989, if you can believe that.
Wow.
That's how long we've been attempting to get this hospital built. We went in through a lot of opposition, mostly our competing hospitals.
Absolutely.
Lawsuits, all kinds of things.
Incredible.
And thanks to really some leadership on the political front, leadership within my own health system, as well as teamed up with leaders like Senator Cassis, Representative DeRoche, a lot of other folks who really decided it was time. We had a population booming out here, no hospital access. With their help, we got the legislation passed. So that was the big obstacle to overcome in terms of getting this done. There's other obstacles. Healthcare right now is in a kind of a crisis. We're not the favorite topic around industry boardrooms anymore. We're considered very expensive, inefficient, costing our auto companies, as an example, a lot of money. And a lot of people are concerned about malpractice and mistakes. So right now, we also have an image issue to overcome. And hopefully this hospital will be a real big step ahead in changing the image of how hospitals can be well run.
Absolutely. So more integrating your services and your health and wellness into the business, so the business can start to realize a lot of the value that you bring instead of just seeing you as an expense on their balance sheet.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better myself. In fact, I'll use that line, I'm sure.
Great,
yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
As you're going through, all these challenges and obstacles, was there anything that you found particularly frustrating, or something that really involved you getting, hands-on involved into making all this happen?
Well, yes. In terms of really trying to get to where we are today, it's a complex project, and you have a lot of constituents. Both inside and outside the organization that want to say in what you're going to do, whether it's your physicians, whether it's your nursing staff, whether it's the system leaders that you work for. And we work for both system leaders here in Detroit and our national parent company in St. Louis.
Really?
We have fundraising needs. you know, as we look at all that we had to get done, it became like, why can't we just build this thing? You know?
Yeah.
And so, you know, you have to go through that process, and you do have to get input. And at the end of the day, everyone does have to support you, and the community support as well. It has to be there. People are being very patient with us right now. We have a big construction project going on, and patients are still coming in and out of that ER, and the doctor's offices are very busy. We're trying to make it workable for the next couple years. So I think probably if there's a frustration, it's just all the detail and all the work that goes into it. But you know, at the end of it, we're still smiling and we're having a good time doing it, and we still bring a humor to work every day, and so it's a lot of fun.
And that's good. And you know, your customers or your patients, I mean, they see that. I mean, they know when somebody's happy and having a good time, and it's reflected in your work and obviously through the hospital as well.
Well, thank you.
In the next 3 to 5 years, where do you see yourself, and what other type of challenges do you foresee in the future?
Well, I know for the next 3 years, for sure, I am 100% committed to launching the hospital. I mean, it opens in July of 2008. Sounds like it's a long way off, but there's a lot of work to do, a lot of goals to meet. And I've made a commitment to the folks I work for that I'm staying in place and I'm staying right here, and that's all I'm worrying about.
That's good.
That we have a successful launch, and then, you know, a good first year. That first year is real important. You know, as we get rooted as a full-service hospital, we have a lot of challenges to meet as we open. Beyond that, I love what I do, so I can't imagine doing anything else right now but staying here in Novi and running this hospital. I think this experience will lend me out as maybe I can give support to some of our other hospitals across the country that are also building new. We have 67 hospitals within our parent company. A lot of them will be replacing themselves, and hopefully I can lend some maybe consultative help. But I'm committed right here to St. John Health in Providence, and that's my 5-year goal.
That's great. And I mean, you know, being involved with the hospital and getting it going has just got to be incredibly rewarding for you. What keeps you going? What when you wake up in the morning, I mean, what's driving you to get to work every day?
Well, it's that opportunity to maybe make a difference in somebody's life, because ultimately, you know, that's a lot of steel out there on the construction yard, but there's going to be a lot of people's lives going through that, and to get up in the morning and know that something that you do, a decision you might make, some new technology you might invest in, bringing in, and really this is about a team. This is about bringing the best doctors and staff. Yeah. It's not about one individual. My job here is just to get out of people's way and to bring the best people to this Novi campus. And knowing that I can do that and have a hand in that and assist in that, and that maybe you or I or our family might need it someday, have their life saved or have a baby born. You can't ask for anything more in your life to feel like you had that kind of a contribution.
Absolutely.
And so it's fun, and it's also rewarding at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just got to be incredibly rewarding to know that you have that kind of impact on people. Rob, how do you instill your enthusiasm as a leader into your team to get all these goals and objectives in the hospital built? I mean, you're very enthusiastic. You've got a lot of drive in what you do. How do you?
You know, it's been easy, Greg, because I haven't had to instill that in anyone. I think one of the largest responsibilities of a leader of any organization, whether it's mine or any business you may talk to, is hiring the best talent.
Yeah.
So I hire enthusiastic people. I don't need to instill it in them. And if you look at the team, I am surrounded by high energy, very creative. And most of the time, you know, I have to fight to not take credit for what they do. I mean, really, a lot of what you see going on out there right now and what's gotten us to this point is really through the talents of many other people. If I take any credit, it was having the wisdom to hire them and put them into the process to begin with. So we don't have to pump anybody up. Everyone who's out there right now is excited to be there.
That's great. Sounds like you've got a fabulous team.
I sure do.
What are your thoughts about community involvement? And I've seen you out in the community with multiple different organizations. What's really?
Well, some people might think that because of my kind of job and the job I have here, that it's an obligation, to do these. it's actually quite different than that for me. It's it's enjoyment, and it's also, I think, an obligation of any member of a community, not just those who are in leadership roles or visible roles, but I think if we all contribute in some way, with small or large, whether it's through our places of worship or through our schools or through any of the major clubs, we all can make a difference in people's lives. And so that personal commitment on my part just happens to combine well with my job. And so although a lot of the events I do go to, I'm wearing my Providence hat, I'm actually wearing the hat of myself and my family, and as much as I am. And so it makes it a lot more tolerable.
Yes.
But actually it makes it an important part of our life.
That's great. And just, to be involved in the community is just a great opportunity. It's very self-fulfilling, I think.
Yes.
And how does the recognition of your community service, affect your drive to succeed?
Well, I've been saying that one of my overall goals right now is to get Novi recognized as a 5-star community in health. You may not know it, but the state of Michigan actually awards communities on a 1 through 5-star basis on the health of that community.
Really?
There's not a single community in the state of Michigan that has achieved a 5-star. And it's measured on many things. The health status of the residents in the community. Does your community have parks and rec support? Do you have trails? And do they support activities? We're right now assisting the city right now in applying for where we're at today. And I would guess Novi today is a 2 to 3-star community at best.
Wow.
And I'm probably being optimistic. But what we have is a great support in our fire safety, our public safety through the police department, our schools, obviously Providence spearheading this. We are determined to get Novi healthy and be recognized. And it'll be a personal achievement for Providence if the community that we call home is recognized as a health leader in this state.
That's great. That's great. Rob, we have one final question today. If you were to offer today's young people some suggestions or advice just coming into the world of business, media, politics, or healthcare, what would you say to them?
I would say be as bold as you want to be and get involved. I've seen a lot of very successful young people coming out now, and the way they're being successful is not just relying on their degree. A lot of people are coming out with degrees, and they're coming out with degrees from very fine colleges. It's those that, instead of spending their summer vacationing, they're volunteering. They're getting involved in civic organizations. They're becoming volunteers. We have a lot of teens who volunteer at Providence.
Really?
They're spending their summer at the information desk as opposed to at the pool. And I think activity and recreation is really important, and I don't want to minimize that. But to be known as someone who's a go-getter and active, you will meet a lot of people. And you will be in the right place at the right time, just like I had that lucky chance in my career. You're in the right place at the right time, good things will happen. So that'd be my advice.
That's great advice, and very well said. That's all the time we have today. Thank you for joining Rob Casalou, CEO of St. John Providence Hospital and I on Novi Pulse. Please visit our website at www.novipulse.com for upcoming show times, to listen to previews of future guests, and to watch this and other programs at your convenience. I'm Greg Chapman, and you've been watching Novi Pulse.